Hello and welcome in our YouTube channel Metallurgical Facts. So in this video series we are doing metallurgical engineering question practice for gate metallurgy. So this video series is basically for gate metallurgy gate 2021, and this is part 5th of this video series. Before this we have added 4 part of this video series, and under this video series we are doing question practice of MCQs, NAT and also MSQs type of question, which is new for this gate 2021. Okay, so I hope this video will be beneficial for your practicing purpose. So also I would like to request you to watch all the videos in this video series, because you will do the practice of more new questions in under this video series. So the first question is, which of the following processes may not be used for dewatering in ore dressing? Okay, so this dewatering is basically done after all the processes in ore dressing for removal of moisture or for the drying purpose. Okay, so these are the 4 options: coagulation, hydroclassification, filtration, and thermal drying. Okay, so they are asking which of the which of the following process may not be used for dewatering purpose. Okay, so here I will tell you the methods which is used for dewatering. So first method here, this is the methods used for dewatering in ore dressing. Okay, in ore dressing. So the first method is sedimentation. Okay, so this sedimentation process is used for dewatering in ore dressing or mineral processing part. And the next one is coagulation. Coagulation is also used for dewatering purpose. The next process is filtration, and this filtration is basically solid liquid separation. Okay, so this filtration, you must have heard about this filtration, and also you might have did in your lab skill. Okay, so this is the solid liquid separation. And the fourth one is thermal drying. So these are the 4 processes, 4 methods which is used for this dewatering purpose. Okay, so this the thermal drying is basically removal of moisture. Okay, so these are the 4 processes which is used for dewatering purpose. And in this list we are not seeing that hydro classification is there. Okay, so what is this hydro classification? Hydro classification is basically the process of sizing, and this classification is basically done on the size and density basis. Okay, so this is also a process which is used in ore dressing part, but this process is classified under this sizing process. Okay, so this is not used for dewatering. Okay, so here B part is correct, because they are asking which process may not be used. Okay, so hydro classification may not be used for this dewatering purpose. Okay, so B part is correct for this question. The next question is, in Illingham diagram, the slopes of the lines represents. Okay, so they are asking about the slope of the Illingham diagram. So you know this Illingham diagram is a diagram which is drawn between the delta G naught, basically standard condition in standard state condition, and between T. Okay, so at x-axis this is T, and at y-axis this delta G. So how we get the this curve? Actually this curve is a result of this formula, that is delta G naught is equals to delta H naught minus T into delta S naught. Okay, so in this case we can rearrange this formula like that: delta G naught minus T delta S naught plus delta H naught. So here we can find that this equation is of y is equals to mx type. Okay, y is equals to mx plus c. So c is basically intercept, and this x is here t, because this t is here, and this m is minus delta s naught. So this m is basically slope. Okay, so here the slope is, here in this case the slope is minus delta s naught. Okay, and all the lines in the Illingham diagram, all the slope of the lines represent the entropy, the change in the entropy of the that metal. Okay, so that is all in standard state condition. Okay, so now you got that how we can find this slope. Okay, so in Illingham diagram the slope of the line represents this minus of delta s naught. Okay, So sometimes people do silly mistakes, they forget to put minus sign and they will take the A option, so that will be wrong. Okay, so whenever they are asking about the slope, you need to find the m value from this formula, and that m value will be equals to minus delta s. And what about the intercept? So intercept will be delta h naught. So this is intercept. Okay, so this delta h is intercept. So here this is nice question actually, and one can do silly mistake. That's why I have chosen this question for practice purpose. Okay, so B part is correct for this question. So the next question is matching type of question. So in this question they have given two groups. In one group they have given the process name, and in other group two they have given the objective of those processes. Okay, so we need to match these processes through this objective. Okay, so the first process is here vacuum arc degassing. In matching type of questions I already told you how to attempt the matching type of questions. Please try to remind those things always whenever you are doing matching type of questions. Okay, so this vacuum arc degassing, that is VAD is basically secondary steel making. Okay, so this P we can match through this two. Okay, so this secondary steel making also consists of VAD, VOD, AOD, VD process. Okay, all those processes for production of clean steel, for production of uh, for production of clean steel. Okay, so this vacuum arc degassing is basically secondary steel making process. Okay, the next thing is LD. Okay, so this is basically LD converter, and LD converter is example of BOF furnace. Okay, so this BOF is basically used for steel making. Okay, and this steel making is done through the BF BOF route. Okay, so this is also known as BF BOF route for steel making production. Okay, so this is the blast furnace and basic oxygen furnace, and in basic oxygen furnace we are using LD converter nowadays. Okay, so this LD converter is basically primary steel making process. Okay, so Q we can match through 4. The next thing is Corex process. Corex is basically alternative process, and in gate metallurgy they have given this process uh, uh, for in a syllabus. So that's why we need to consider. In one of the video I have told you about this Corex process in detail, but here I will tell you this Corex process is basically a direct smelting process and alternative route of iron making. Okay, so this Corex process we can match through the 3. The next thing is blast furnace. So about this blast furnace, you all know that this blast furnace is used for the production of iron. Okay, and this is basically the primary iron making. Primary iron making is basically the blast furnace route, and other route that is known as alternative routes of iron making. And those alternative routes of iron making is DRI or sponge iron making. Okay, sponge iron making. So these all processes are alternative route of iron making, but the blast furnace is primary iron making route. So S we can match by 1. So what is code? That is 2431. So whatever the option which is starting from other than 2, so we can cross those options. So A, B and C is wrong, so D part is correct for this question. Okay, so D is correct answer for this question. And always I will tell you, please try to practice these type of matching questions, because this matching type of questions gives you a lot of concept, and you may learn many things from these matching type of questions. And you will also get the questions from this matching type of questions in form of MCQ or MSQs form. Okay, so try to practice this type of question. So the next question is NAD type of question, and in this question they are asking, in a slowly cooled 0.4% plain carbon steel, the percentage of pro-eutectide ferrite. So they are asking pro-eutectide ferrite in 0.4% plain carbon. Okay, so this question is very nice, and for this type of question I have already given one video dedicated to this video, that is the video that is related to lever rule. Okay, so according to Oliver rule, we can find the prototype ferrite in this 0.4% of plain carbon steel. So we need to take the lever arm, or we can say we will take uh, the lever arm values like that. So the limit is that 0.025 in ferrite. Okay, and 0.4% that is given, and the eutectride composition is 0.76. So we need to find pro alpha, which is basically known as pro eutectride ferrite. Okay, so how we can find pro eutectride ferrite? So this is 0.025 at um, percent carbon. Okay, and 0.4% carbon is given in plain carbon steel, and that is 0.76. This is eutectide point. Okay, so this is the terminal point for us to find the pro-eutectide ferrite. So here we will apply the lever rule, and lever rule is basically if we need to find pro alpha, means we need to find this side, so we will take the opposite arms. Okay, so that will be 0.76 minus 0.4 by 0.76 minus 0.025. Okay, so pro alpha will be equals to 0.36 by 0.735, and this will be equals to pro alpha is equals to 0.489 in fractions, and if they will ask in percentage, we will multiply by 100, so we will get in percentage. That like that pro alpha will be equals to 48.9 percentage. Okay, so here I told you how to find the eutectide ferrite, pro eutectide ferrite fraction. So this pro alpha will be equals to 48.9%, and this is the correct answer for this type of question. Also in this case you can find the perlite. If they will ask to find the perlite, you can do one thing, 1 minus pro alpha, or separately you can find by taking this arm. Okay, so if you did not watch that lever rule video, two videos I have given separately for hypoeutectide steel and for hypereutectide steel. You should watch those two videos for this concept. Okay, so 48.9% is correct for this. So the next question is nil ductility temperature is that below which. So this question is MSQ type of question. I have already indicated that this question is MSQ, that is multiple select questions, means more than one may be correct. Okay, so the question is nil ductility temperature. So this nil ductility temperature is known as NDT, and this nil ductility temperature is the temperature after below which, you can say below which, the probability of ductile fracture is negligible. Okay, so the first point is that probability of ductile fracture is negligible, Okay, so this is the first point in NDT. So here these are four options, that is fracture is 100% cleavage, fracture is 50% cleavage, and 50% shear. The next thing is energy absorbed will be minimum, and the D part is fracture is 100% ductile. Okay, so these are the 4 points. So here the first point is probability of ductile fracture is negligible, means fracture 100% ductile, so this is wrong option. Okay, so we eliminated this D option. And the next thing is that nil ductility temperature is the temperature at below which the fracture is 100% cleavage. So this is the second point, that this NDT is the temperature below which below which below which fracture is 100% cleavage, means if that will be not ductile, that will be cleavage, that means that will be the brittle fracture. Okay, so this is the second point. So this A part is correct here in this case. And what about this B part? B part is fracture is 50% cleavage and 50% shear. So this is the case of fracture appearance. This is the temperature which is known as fracture appearance transition temperature. Okay, so this is not nil ductility temperature, this is fracture appearance temperature, and this is known as FATT. Okay, so this is something different from this NDT, because here you can see the fracture is 50% cleavage and 50% shear in this FATT, but in this nil ductility temperature, below this temperature the fracture will be 100% cleavage. Okay, and also the one point is that energy absorbed will be minimum in this case. In the case of 100% ductile, the energy absorbed will be minimum. Okay, so this C part is also correct, but this B part is not correct. Okay, so here you can find that this this A and C part is correct, that is fracture is 100% cleavage, and the other thing is that energy absorbed will be minimum. Okay, so A and C part, both part is correct. Okay, so this is the beauty of MSQs type of question, that you may learn many concepts from this type of question. Also I will tell you that try to practice this MSQs type of question and matching type of questions as much as you can. Okay, so this is the correct answer, A and C. Thank you guys for your attention. Hope you have learned something new in this video. I will try to add more and more parts in this video series if I will get the positive feedback of this video series in comment section. Also, you may send us the questions you want in this video by us. So I will try to include those questions in this video series. And subscribe our channel and press bell icon to get notifications. Thank you.